Here's another way to lose money in the Philippines. Mike says, I am from Quebec, Canada. I'm with my Filipino fiance since 7 years now. We acquired many hectares of land in Ipoh, Taytay, and Bulawan on Mindanao. We planted over 250 fruit trees and we dig 13 huge fish ponds to do tilapia. However, the trees need to grow 5 to 7 years before producing, and we bought a bad breed of native tilapia that grows only half what they are supposed to grow. So we start over again. We tried pork, native chicken, and goat, but the commercial food involved, the slow and low reproduction rate, makes it not so nice business. Maybe 10 to 15% profit margin for high risk. Meantime, I consider starting big rabbitry. A rabbit eats grass and vegetables, which is free for us. So basically, we can produce thousands and thousands of rabbits every 3 to 4 months for almost free. No bank loans for the land to pay. About 9 hectares available. And we already pay staff who live on site in an old bamboo house. We already grow vegetables and grass, so it's abundant. The main problem I have with this is no resellers, because in the Philippines, rabbits are considered pet. Only about 10% of the population ever eats rabbit. They cry like human babies when slaughtered, so they not eat those indeed very cute creatures. But there are ways to take them out without crying. But what if I sell each rabbit for 40 to 60 pesos? In the Philippines, price is king. But is it king enough to change habits? It would take 2 to 3 times cheaper than chicken per kilo. For me, it makes sense, so much sense. From my foreign businessman point of view, why forcing your family to eat only rice, even pagpag, when you can afford high quality, high protein, and tasty rabbit meat for so cheap? I feel like I'm sitting on gold mine and I just have to dig. If I can sell 30 to 60 rabbits per day at 40 to 60 pesos each, I would be happy. So it will finally allow me to move there without worrying too much about my wallet getting emptier day after day. Any of you have advice or experience with rabbit meats production and reselling in the Philippines? Watched a lot of YouTube videos. If you try selling a whole rabbit for 40 to 60 pesos, would it be that difficult and impossible to do? Imagine someone trying to sell an entire rabbit after the entire process of growing it and feeding it for $1 a day, even when he says he wants to sell about 60 rabbits a day. Let's say he sells 30. Let's be realistic. 30 rabbits a day at $1, that's $30. 3 times 3 is 9. $900 a month. That is his goal. Imagine moving your whole life to a country where you aim to make $900 a month, in a land where you have zero understanding of how things operate, and you try to actually change Filipino people's habit. $900 at your age is a risk, and that is if nothing bad ever happens, no bribery, no threats, nothing gone wrong, everything works out perfectly, and you somehow manage to sell 30 rabbits a day. To who are you planning to sell this? To who are you planning to sell 30 rabbits on an island of Mindanao where most people are Muslim? I assume, I just guess based on previous people's comments, I assume they also eat halal, meaning they only trust reputable meat sellers. And that is to convince people to eat a rabbit? This person is out of his mind. I'm not the only person who thinks so. Arthur says, the Philippine people do not want to eat rabbits. They consider it as a pet. Bad business if you try to change their habit. Pigs would be better business. Why are you buying land for your girlfriend not even living here? That doesn't make sense. You could already be living here on the money you spent on the land. You mean you bought it and she owns it? Says Curtis. This is a man who's bought so many hectares of land for a woman he's been engaged for 7 years. Why not pull the trigger? What are you waiting for? 7 years being engaged means you or her is not serious, or you don't have the money, or there's some mistrust in a relationship, which is common and normal but why go through the headache of trying to start a business in another country which you have no knowledge about people's habits? The Philippines has to be one of the most stubborn countries when it comes to changing people's habits, even if it's for their benefit. They don't care. They're short-term thinkers. They don't care about any of the stuff they have to offer. Casper says, why, if you never lived here before, it's really difficult dealing with workers that are sometimes very untrustworthy and never employ family. I've been there, done that. Only do something you can control and watch yourself invest your cash in Canada and live off of it. Precisely. Why not put all that money into some kind of savings account or high interest return account that you can simply live off of maybe $500 to $600 a month? If you have that kind of money, you would be fine. Jeff says, sounds to me like you have tried to realize a bunch of Filipino daydreams, farming, fish, goats, pigs, mangoes, now rabbits. Unless you process package and get them to the stores, you have no chance to sell 50 a day. Chinese eat rabbits, maybe process and ship them to Chinatown, Manila, but mainstream Filipinos don't eat them. You have spent a lot of money getting into the farming industry, but it's very much like gambling. Most farmers barely survive. Those mangoes? If you have a bad year, you get no or low profit. If you have a good year, everyone has a good year, and there are too many mangoes that everyone sells at no profit. Same with fish. Invest in any of these plants or animals and some sort of disease kills your mangoes and fish. Rabbits, so again, no profit. Just expensive feed, fertilizer, insecticides. I know several guys who bought into mangoes, fish, and even rice mills and just waste their money. At best, rabbits farming is only an experiment with hopes that will convert or educate the people into accepting this new idea. Imagine trying to impose your ideology onto Filipinos. I wonder how that conversation is going to go. I doubt you will be successful. I hope you are, but I don't think so. Anthony Koo says, doesn't matter the price. I won't eat rabbit regularly. I may try it, but you're correct. I would prefer to keep them as pets. I feel like you're sitting on a gold mine, but I don't know how you can develop it. You would have to create recipes and offer free outside favorite sellers. There are many ways of doing it, but the Philippines is not one of them. I think we can all agree this is not a good idea. Pine in Europe says, rabbits are not for eating in the Philippines. Maybe there are a few. It's usually for pets. Try to farm animals that is consumable daily by the general habitats around you. Market is important. Local views is important. My advice is to raise ducks. You can earn daily from eggs, and you can sell the duck itself. It is less maintenance since they eat whatever. You just need to pond or creek just any water and shades. No need to feed as long as they are free to move around the fields. Out of that duck eggs you can make balut, salted eggs, century eggs. You can find regular buyers in the market that you can supply every day. Good luck. Good luck indeed. But I think most of us know this is another man who has failed in trying to make something happen in the Philippines. Perhaps he can update all of us in a few years if he actually ever makes it to the Philippines. Thanks for listening. God bless.